will give you everything you need. And he said, little boy say get down, 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 little boy say get down. Said you better sit down. Said you better sit. Knelt down on my knees, well, then he said, give your soul to me now, and I will give you everything you need. Said you better sit. Said you better sit down, my son, and listen carefully. Well, said you better sit down, my son, and listen carefully. Well, if you shout out faith in my child, trust me, you will live eternally. Knelt down on my knees, well, then he said, give your soul to me now, and I will give you everything you need. Said you better sit down, my son, and listen carefully.
30 seconds, so we've got a bit of time. Good evening, councillors and members of the public. I open the ordinary council meeting on the 29th of July 2025 at 7:10 p.m. Councillors, before we begin our meeting, I would just like to inform you that I will be presenting 2 mayoral minutes on the passing of 3 distinguished members of our community. I would like to acknowledge the recent passing of Uncle Greg Sims, who passed away on the 22nd of July 2025. Uncle Greg was born in 1949 and has dedicated his life's work to reconciliation, cultural education and community. He used the art of wood carving and storytelling that is passed on to him by his father and grandfather to mentor younger generations, foster respect and understanding between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal communities. Uncle Greg was awarded an Order of Australia Medal in 2024 in recognising his unwavering dedication to First Nations communities. I will also like to acknowledge the recent passing of Ava Longbottom of the La Perouse community, who passed away on the 22nd of June 2025. Ava was a board member of the La Perouse Local Aboriginal Land Council and was remembered as a woman who fought for the rights of her community. She was a passionate netball and vigoro player in her younger years and a strong advocate for native title and land rights over the past few decades, where Ava was involved in the establishment and running of many important community initiatives and programs. Council acknowledges the recent sorry business and expresses sincere and heartfelt condolences to the Sims and Longbottom families and community at this time. Could we please have a minute of silence? Thank you. Before I begin the meeting, I'd also like to acknowledge the passing of Matraville's oldest resident, Maria Riley, at the very sweet and tender age of 108. I'm sure that of all of us in this room, we aspire to reach that age, but more importantly, the wisdom that brings. Maria was born in Malaysia, and her early years were shaped by the extraordinary hardship she lived during the 1941 Japanese invasion, during the Second World War, a time of immense struggle, often making a single cup of rice last a week to feed her 2 young children. At the comparatively young age of 50, she visited Australia for her daughter's wedding and chose to make this country her home. She met her husband, Jim, when she worked at the Water Board, now Sydney Water. After a decade, Maria and Jim were married in 1996, a joyful chapter that lasted 15 years until Jim's passing at the equally or almost impressively distinguished age of 98. Maria was a member of the Catholic Club, now Castle Rag Club in Sydney, the Labour Club in Randwick, South Juniors, Maddo RSL, as well as a parishioner of St Agnes Church in Matraville. Council expresses our sincere and heartfelt condolences to Maria's family and honour her extraordinary life. Now I'd like to hold a minute of silence. Thank you. Before we commence the meeting, we're in the presence of some Aboriginal elders here this evening, Auntie Barb Sims Keeley, as well as Auntie Marge Dixon. Auntie Barb will have the honour of welcoming us to country, and I really appreciate the offer this evening. So, Auntie Barb.
Mr Mayor, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members in the public gallery here, General Manager, all councillors here, thank you very much, and it's an honour to be here for us 3 ladies here from La Perouse. I pay my respects to Uncle Greg and to Auntie Ava and to our lovely old lady that I used to sit with at Matraville RSL, to live to that life. What an extraordinary chapter in your life. From our elders, both past, present and emerging, we pay respect to them, we honour them, we give them thanks. They showed us the way, they lighted the way for us as well, and they taught us to give unstintedly our time to others. From the Bidjigal people at La Perouse, we are the soul of the earth out there. Our neighbouring clans are the Gadigal people in Sydney, where we were born, and then the Guigal people of Kurnell, our bloodline people over the bay. And we welcome all Australians. We stand here tonight as all Australians. We bleed the same red blood as each and every one of us here. We give our time unstintedly to each other and listen. If we're not listening, we don't know what's said, and we can't go out and preach it as well. So who we are as a people, it defines us. And with our 3 ladies here, it's only the colour of our skins that define us. But we can work and walk with you and listen unitedly with each other. And we need to sit down, break bread, and be humble with each other. One day we're going to want someone or each other, and it shows who we are as a people. This great council, we're thankful to you. And tonight, sitting at dinner, I said, it doesn't happen in Campbelltown, and it doesn't happen in Liverpool, and it certainly doesn't happen in Nowra. So we are blessed to be here tonight with you, to break bread with you, to sit with you and listen. We can all learn from each other. And I often think when I go out and do talks, I'm doing two recently, one coming up, the Sharks and the Rabbitohs, and I certainly don't want to get booed by anyone. Truly, it's a terrible, haunting and daunting feeling when you get booed in an arena. But it's who we are, and I'm humbled to be here tonight and give thanks to what we have before us here. What a great council we have, and what great councillors you are as well. And from the general manager's side, inside, they do all the paperwork and the hard work. Thank you for having us here. We're blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie Barb. Before we commence the meeting, can I please call on Councillor D'Souza to read the prayer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Auntie Barbs. Almighty God, we humbly beseech you to bestow your blessings upon this council and to direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement of your glory and the true welfare of the people of the city of Randwick and Australia. Amen.
Thank you, councillors. Please be seated. Thank you. I now move to the calling for apologies and leaves of absence. I've received apologies from councillors Hamilton, Luxford and Rosenfeld. Can I please have a mover of the apologies? Moved, Councillor Burst. Seconded, Councillor Hay. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. There being no requests to join the meeting via audio-visual link, can I please have somebody confirm the minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting on the 17th of June 2025? Moved Councillor Gordon, seconded Councillor Martin. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. Councillors, are there any declarations of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests? There being no declarations, councillors, as a general reminder, if at any point during the meeting a declaration comes to you, please take the call and I will interrupt the meeting to hear that declaration of interest. I will now move to addresses of council by members of the public and will read the chairperson's announcement. In respect of the Privacy and Personal Information Protection Act, members of the public are advised that the proceedings of this meeting will be recorded for the purposes of clause 520 to 523 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice. Audio-video recording of meetings is prohibited without the express permission of council. A person may be expelled from a meeting for using or having used an audio-video recorder without the express authority of this body. All members of the public who are soon to address tonight's meeting will have a maximum of 4 minutes in which to put forward their case. Presenters will be stopped when the 4 minutes has expired. However, I will be granting extensions if required. Our first speaker this evening relates to MM21/25, sorry business, in relation to Mr. Robert Gregory Sims and Ms. Ava Longbottom. Speaking for is Auntie Barb.
Thank you very much, and lovely to have Uncle Greg on your agenda here tonight. So, what a great man! What a man of selfless. He gave unsteadily his time to others. He showed what he could do as a man. He was taught from an early age by his father and nurtured by his aunt, Auntie Ollie Sims, who looked after him. And he's survived by his sister, the woman sitting on my right, the oldest foster parent we have around here in Aboriginal Community Society. The oldest sporting woman, lady on my right again, 90 next year. A state representative, we went to Tasmania. Charmaine as well. She'd gone to Queensland. She's seen this, always taken children in, now looking after her brother's grandchildren and children. So this woman gives her time unstintingly as well. I'm honoured and happy to call you my cousin. You were there for me when I was pregnant with my twins. You were there with me. So I value you and I value what you've done in your community and how you do it. If we give time more to others and open our hearts, show what we can do as a people, the world's a better place for each and every one of us. And her brother did all this. He'd witnessed the Rolling Stones coming to Sydney many, many years ago. He also welcomed the Mouseketeers when they came to Sydney, the first Mouseketeers. So this man had done this, he'd seen this, and when he sat on the earth, crossed legs in the dirt like his father, doing artifacts and making things, his father was a whiz at doing all this. They taught themselves this. There were no modern tools in those days, and they'd done it all by hand. How they cut the shields from the mangrove knees. So I often say to a lot of people, bend your leg. That whole leg when you bend, that encompasses the knee. One good knee, 5 good boomerangs. I spoke about this yesterday over near the airport, and that was men's business. We are the nurturers, the storytellers, the birthers. We can do the shell work, but we can't touch the boomerang. It's not ours. We can't touch the shield or the spears. They're not ours. It's not our business. That's men's business only. But we also walk behind the man when we do walkabout, and that man must respect us as we are as women. We bring life into the world. We create life. We balance life. We nurture life. So if we look at each other and say, how can I help you? What can I do for you? We need to give and show our time in good faith, with humanity, poise and grace. And this young man, Robert Gregory Sims, did all that. And the lady that nurtured him and looked after him when his mum died, Auntie May, I never got to see Auntie May, but Uncle Bob, a very staunch old man. And my father was under his thumb as well and under his gaze in his eyes. So when my dad was taken away, he returned to La Perouse and was looked after by Auntie Ollie and Uncle Bob. And with Marge, he's more of a brother to you than a cousin. So this is what we have in our communities. But Gregory done all this. He'd given his lifetime to achievements in Blacktown, the key of the city. Imagine that, an Aboriginal person getting a key to the city. It doesn't come in everyday life. An OAM, and they're not giving freely. You work for those, and it's what you do in your communities that achieve all this. So I'd seen this man myself, and we grew up together as kids. We played many games together, and he had lots of funny things he could do to people. How he'd tease them, how he'd play tricks on them, how we used to get our bonfire bushes over the valley. It'd be a competition on the mission, who would have the biggest bonfire and who would let it off last. And I know your family were against us, and we beat us one year. We had the biggest bonfire. We let it off last. So we had all this and building scarecrows, and I used to get a pair of pants and a shirt and stuff it with green grass. By the time 3 weeks was up, it'd be dying, and you could sit it up.
2-minute extension.
Okay, so when we do this as a people, and this young man did this, Greg looked after his children. He married a beautiful, beautiful woman from the North Coast, and they had a wonderful son. That son was nurtured and loved immensely by Auntie Marge when she passed away, and his father, Gregory. And I could never get used to calling him Robert, but it was Gregory. A man with substance. We often talk about women with substance, but this man also had substance. So, Vale Greg Sims, the community where you come from, and where you've met up now with your mother, father, Auntie Ollie, your nurturer, and the different many people from La Perouse Mission. If we can all be like him and give our times, same as Ava gave her time as well. So Charmaine will talk hopefully about that. But a collective of people, a people that wasn't welcome in this country, a people were second-class citizens. And I said earlier, when we go out and do things, we're looked down upon, we're frowned upon, but we have it all. We have a gift. We have a lifetime gift. We walk with you, talk with you. Our hand is held out to you in friendship. If you choose to grasp it, that's your situation. I don't have any hang-ups. I'm in a great headspace. I walk freely. I'm happy with this council that's ours here and the great men and women in it. It's wonderful. You come here tonight, had dinner, everyone greets you. No one walked past you. It was a lovely greeting event in dinner with dinner. And I absolutely love and admire this council. And what can I say? It speaks volumes. And each and every one of you sitting here tonight, councillors, I reminisce with Maria, campaigning outside on those windy days and placards are lying everywhere. Noel, you've taken me into your fold as well, and you and I were like brother and sister, more than friends. So I value your friendship and your cohesion, what you do again, and how you give your time and energy. Ladies and gentlemen, walk away from me tonight feeling good with yourselves and agree to disagree. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Barb. I now call Charmaine Longbottom.
Hi. This is my first time, and it's a very sad time in my life. I just want to be strong, and I want to give my talk to share with my mother and myself. Being here is an honour, and very grateful and thankful for having me and bringing the visitation here for me to be here and joining you today. And thank you to the councillors for all the great work and the work that you've done for my mother and with my mother, and made the world with registrations work together. I also want to thank the Mayor for inviting me here and inviting me up, and I want to thank you for your condolence and condolence of the silence that you have given for the passing of departed from my mother. It's very important that I share this time with you, and I thank you very much for giving me all this time to be here with you. I don't know much about Mum. My mother was a very intelligent woman, and she had a lot of work and a lot of registrations that she had, and she delegated that and developed that through courts, and court ordered the ownership of the native title ownership attorney to granted my mum. My mum had taken that role for a very long time, and she had a lot of people that she was partying with, and a lot of people that was a challenge to her role of communal and the community of La Perouse. And outside the community of La Perouse, on the non-Indigenous side of the non-Aboriginal side, was great to her, and she really commenced that, and she applauded that. And the applause that she's given in time has shown in documentation and correspondence, had taken the respects to the work and all parties that had joined together. And with that, registration is going to be ongoing as myself, as I am the only child. As I have never partied with Mum, or my mum never taught me about ownership of registration, I have been there with my mum, had to take that acknowledgement to recognition to home and to the land of who we are, is the ownerships and the ownerships of registration of La Perouse. There has been a lot of confidentiality that my mum could not tell me, because we had a lot of people walking behind us. We had a lot of people trying to take power of the registrations. So my mum had a very strong community. She had a very strong personality, and did not come across unprofessional. She was a professional person. She just had to be mindful, take it in mind and strength, and show that strength. And to the love of her was home and her work and her mother's work. And I just want to thank the City Council, also of Randwick Council, for applauding the work of raisements, of registrations of flags, and the work that commenced.
Grant a 2-minute extension.
Okay. And I want to thank you for the establishments and that inviting for that registrar with the Randwick City Council. It is important to historian, and it is important to both parties. And I hope we can ongoing with the government attorneys that I will be attorneying with and talking with, and learning that establishment to establish with all, with a great Randwick Council, City Council that you guys all are. And the work that you do and make a difference to communities, education, and commitments that we take in parties. And the parties that will be taking part in time, I will be authorising the best abilities and the abilities for the Australian life of the commencement of Australia and governments and work and education, and for the Aboriginal communities of Aboriginal community of La Perouse. And I'm really honoured to be here today, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We now move to MM 22/25, by Maria Riley, speaking for Ms. Ruby Jackson.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, councillors. I'm here to represent my mother, Maria Riley, who is at a passing 107 according to the our calendar, but in the where she's 108 is as from our culture. When you are born, you are actually considered to be a 1-year-old because you were 9 months in the womb. And by the time you come out, it's almost a year. That's why we're always 1 year ahead. But my mother, I think, would probably want to be maybe 107 instead of 108. Mum has, I am the reason why Mum has come to Australia, because I came to Australia to do my nursing, met a beautiful guy, and I married an Australian man, and therefore she came for my wedding and never went back again to Malaysia because she loved obviously what she saw in Sydney and Australia, and the other big factor was she loved the poker machines. So she's always sort of said the poker machines drew her to Australia. Mum's lived all that time since when she arrived here in 1969. The 16th of December 1969, Mum has lived literally in Sydney. She lived in Randwick, the first for a long time. Sorry, in Paddington, I think was where she first lived. And then when she met Jim, she and Jim lived in Blythe Street in Randwick. And then they moved to Hillsdale, and then finally to Metroville, which is of course where she is and has been since. She's quite obviously a very extraordinary woman as for us as a mum. I listened to what she had done through her young times, and particularly through the Japanese occupation, as stated here in the Vale. She did look after her family, and she had to look after all her immediate family, as well as all her extended family that had to come to stay with her. So she was looking after probably around about 6 or 7 people, during that very difficult time in the Japanese occupation. But my goodness, she fought a good fight there, looked after all the family, did through all the difficult times. And she was only obviously relatively young then. My mum she loved Australia. Mum absolutely loved Australia. She thinks that it is the best country that she has ever been. Mum's very thankful for her life in Australia because of what she has been able to receive in the time that she was here. And of course, as she grew older and became a senior citizen, she was very grateful for the sort of things that was given to her as a senior citizen, how she was looked after, the community looked after her. And of course, to Mum, one of the very most important part in her life was the life that she leads with the church. Mum was a great supporter of her faith. She lived her faith, and she was always, somebody that was very connected to the church. And I think the Metroville Church was where she spent a lot of time, in the time that she lived. And of course, they were wonderful to her as well too. I can't explain to you how my mom feels about this country, so that everybody in here knows that mom believes that, again, that I have said before, that this is the best country that she, has been. And mom obviously spent quite a bit of time in Malaysia as well too. But to mom, this is where she needed to be, and she was very happy till the end to be here. And for that, I would like to, as a family, my sister is with me here, my daughter is with me here, and all we can say as a family is thank you, Australia, for looking after our mum, because, she really valued her time here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Before we commence the meeting, I'd just like to say how lovely it is to have members of family attending here this evening. Thank you. Yes, what I will do is I will suggest a procedural motion to deal with the supplementary mayoral minutes first, rather than the order in the business paper, MM2125 and MM2225, relating to the items there were public speakers on, moved by Councillor Gordon and seconded by Councillor D'Souza. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. We move to the first mayoral minute, sorry business, in relation to Mr Gregory Sims and Ava Longbottom. Councillors, you heard earlier my remarks in relation to this. I take the mayoral minute as read, and I will now call for speakers. Councillor D'Souza.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I'm honoured to speak both on behalf of Ava Longbottom and Uncle Greg. Now, I didn't know Uncle Greg as well, but I know Auntie Barbara. And there's an old saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And in saying that, I know Greg, her cousin, would have been very much like Auntie Barbara. He worked hard for his community. To get an OAM is an achievement in itself. I know myself know how hard it is to get an OAM. And in saying that, he must have done more than just look after his community. He must have been committed and dedicated to making things better. Now, the second person today who was actually very close to me, and where's our little Charmaine? Charmaine's there. Her mother, Ava Longbottom, was very close to me. She actually handed out for me on election day, and for that I was always grateful. But also, she fought hard for her community. I mean, I can tell you an example of she went, as our young Charmaine said, went to court on matters and that. I remember signing with Ava a 120-page affidavit, Mr. Mayor. Now, that was a lot of signing to do in my busy young life. But in saying that, we did it together. She challenged things that she thought was wrong, and she wanted to right it. She saw suffering, and she wanted to stop it. She saw despair in a community, Mr. Mayor, and she offered hope. And where there was injustice, she wanted to correct it. Where there was wrong, she wanted to right it. She was a special lady, and I know Charmaine, coming back to what I said about Auntie Barbara, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Charmaine will continue on her mother's legacy. Now, Mr. Mayor, we're well aware, and I'm sure you are, because you attended many of our NAIDOC ceremonies. NAIDOC Week, the theme for this year's NAIDOC Week was the next generation. Strength, vision, legacy. That speaks volumes about the life of Ava. She was a strong woman. She was strong for her community. I used to sponsor, as Auntie Marge, still there, Auntie Marge reminded me that I used to sponsor the Vigoro Club, and Ava was a good Vigoro player. Auntie Marge, you must agree with that. But strength certainly was there. Vision, well, she certainly has a vision for her community and our people. And Charmaine brought that across, and thank you, Charmaine, for that. And of course, we all know the legacy Ava's left behind. That 120-page affidavit, which we signed together, was a powerful instrument for change. But you know, we laughed after it because we didn't even have to present that affidavit because the decision was already made. The judge ruled in her favour and our community's favour. And as I said, oh, geez, you chewed up a lot of my time, Ava, and we had a laugh about it. But that's the kind of people we had and dealt with. As I said, I didn't know Uncle Greg as well, but I can speak. I'm sure he too, like Ava, did lots of things. What we're enjoying now, what our community is seeing now, the bridges that we built, all these things came from the hard work of Charlie Perkins, Chicka Dixon. I can go on and name some of the others. But they, as we say, and I'm sure Auntie Barbara shares, we stand on the shoulder of giants. I'll say Uncle, Mr. Mayor. But in saying that, I'm very proud to have known Ava and Uncle Greg, and of course, Maria Riley. Now, will we get a chance to talk about Maria Riley later, or shall I speak now?
If you speak to that will come as the next item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I will now put the mayoral minute. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that unanimous. Thank you. Thank you. We now move to MM 22/25 in relation to Maria Riley. The motion reads that Council observes a minute silence to acknowledge the life and passing of the late Maria Riley, which we've previously done. I take the mayoral minute as read and refer to my previous comments. Are there any speakers?
I'd like to speak.
So I'll go to Councillor Said had his hand up first, and or would you? So, and then I'll go to Councillor D'Souza. Councillor Said.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to reiterate all the comments that we've put in the actual mayoral minute, and I thank you for the mayoral minute. It is probably a great honour to be one of the oldest residents, and as we said, in Matraville, but I think it's actually within Randwick. I wouldn't be surprised. And to have a longevity like that, obviously you're doing something right. But it was great that Maria sort of didn't just sit at home in her later years. She went to Mass every Sunday. She got communion. She still went to the club towards the end. But the good thing is, and the most important thing is, and it must be fantastic for the family to know, that on social media, I posted that she passed away, and it was picked up by, I don't know if you know it, Maroubra community, and there was something like about 50 to 60 comments. So she was always very well known throughout the community. So you should be very proud of your mum, because obviously she's more, she probably is more popular than you thought, you thought, but she was really out there. People did love her. People did appreciate her company. So thank you for coming, and thank you for letting us celebrate it with you.
Councillor D'Souza.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Maria Riley was a gentle soul with a strong presence and a quiet, dignified demeanour. She had a deep Catholic faith, the conviction that Christ's presence and power continue in the world today through the body of the church. She was 107 years old, and I strongly believe was one of, I think, the oldest resident of Randwick. I will miss her dearly. For those that wish to know, her funeral will be at St. Agnes Catholic Church this Friday at 9 a.m. I had the pleasure of speaking at Maria's 100th birthday and many birthdays after, on one occasion even being at a house with the Premier of the time, Dominic Perrottet, for 104th birthday. And it was lovely. She was always very appreciated, she was always dignified, and she was always grateful. Qualities which many of us lack nowadays, Mr. Mayor. Humility. She was a very humble person. And to that, and Ruby is here, and Melinda and the rest, I say thank you. We are the ones that should be grateful to have met a lady like Maria Riley, who was always kind, gentle, and generous. She loved Australia, but I can tell you with all confidence, I'm sure, Australia loved her. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Poe. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I will now put the mayoral minute. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. So for those in the public, we are now in public gallery. We're now going down back to the agenda on the business paper. That concludes those formalities. Thank you for attending this evening. Thank you. And we will move to mayoral minutes, MM18/25, financial assistance and donations, June to July 2025. Councillors, I take the mayoral minute as read. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put it. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. We now move to MM19/25, reducing mental health stigma through support of the Blue Tree Project. Councillors, I take the mayoral minute as read. Are there any further speakers? There being Councillor Sett.
Just quickly, Mr. Mayor, I thank you for this because the men's walk that walk around Heffron Park on a Friday morning have been asking for this for a while, and they really do appreciate it. I was talking to the organisers of that, and they really hope that we can get something done pretty quickly, and it's a very important that Erwin Tucker, who leads them, is really associated with men's health, and he does a fantastic job, and it's a fantastic thing they do. They've been doing it for about 6 years now, and if anyone does have time on a Friday morning, they walk around Heffron and just talk about all things men talk about, and it's done a lot of good for a lot of people, and the Blue Tree Project is part of that, and I hope we can get something together pretty soon.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put it. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. We now move to MM20/25, improving public access to automated external defibrillators in Randwick City. Councillors, I take the mayoral minute as read. Are there any speakers? Councillor Magna.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I speak in favour of this resolution and commend the council for the work that they're doing in this space. The facts about defibrillators are that every second matters, and the location of these defibrillators can make a real meaningful difference to the saving of lives. The prospects of survival of a person that's suffering from a cardiac arrest can increase significantly. 12% of people survive an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, and that jumps to 53% when an AED is used by a bystander. But what I think is really important about this motion is that it's part of a comprehensive strategy, coordination with emergency services, maintenance. There's no point having a defibrillator unless people can be confident that when it is accessed, it's working, the pads are there, it's fully charged, they can locate it, and importantly that there's an education program that is offered as well, that people know how to effectively use it when called upon to do so. So I'm very pleased that our council is taking a leadership role in this space, and I believe that it will make a meaningful difference in saving even more lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sett.
I agree, this is a fantastic idea. I just have one question to the relevant officer, because in times gone by, when we were rolling out defibrillators, and even the state government was handing them out, you used to have to put them inside the sports, say the tuck shop or the canteen, because if they're on the outside and they got vandalised, and then someone did have a heart attack and they were vandalised, and the maintenance, if the batteries are running, look, and this is in the old days when they first came out, so I assume there's a lot more been happening to them. Are they locked up where you need a special key to get into them? Because the issue was, it was the council's liability, because we were handing them out. If we didn't maintain them and the battery wasn't working, we could be liable if something happened. And there was vandalism was rife at the time. But I did notice the one at Heffron and it did look a lot more secure. So I'm just wondering, are they more of a secure unit now? And have we got a maintenance program to make sure that the batteries are always working?
Thank you. Through to the Director of City Services.
Thank you. Through yourself, Mr. Mayor, over the past, say 5 to 10 years, the nature of the installation of AEDs has changed. There was grants available through both the state and federal government for sporting clubs themselves to apply to obtain a device that they could install. From my memory, they were installed inside the club, more so because they were the responsibility, they're installed inside a building because they're the responsibility of the club themselves to maintain, not council. They received the AED device, and therefore they were responsible for the upkeep and maintenance and calibration of that particular device, and therefore they were the clubs were reluctant to put them on the outside of buildings. As times are changing, and obviously the importance of these AED devices in and around our public spaces is increasing. There has been more reliance on council to put them in rather than the clubs, and we have put a couple of publicly accessible ones in. I do note, like everything in the community is susceptible to damage, and it's better to have one there maybe than not. They can provide. We have a supplier, at the moment, they can provide back to base monitoring. So we had a matter, I believe, on the weekend, either at Nagle or Heffron Park, where there was a patient who needed the AED device, and that was utilised, and our staff, as soon as it come off the wall, our staff were immediately received a notification to say AED's off the wall. So we didn't know at the time it was in use, and it was for a patient successfully bringing someone back to life. But we sent a staff member out there to see if it was being vandalised, but it was in action. So,
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Councillor Veach.
Yeah, this is a fantastic Merrill Minute, and I fully support it. It would be great, as per the last item, if we were able to maybe do some training. I know obviously there's lots of training done through all the surf clubs, but for the people who aren't doing that, it would be wonderful. And also I just wonder if there's a chance as part of this that we could promote the Emergency Plus app, which is a fantastic app. You can literally press it and it will dial 000 directly from the app, give you all the information, and also give the responders directly your exact location. I only learnt about it this year, but gives you a bit of peace of mind, especially if you're out bushwalking or something. So it would be nice to potentially promote that as well, if officers thought that was a suitable thing to do as part of this campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Veach. Just in relation to that suggestion, what I might propose is to move this in a slightly amended fashion, to include a point 4, for council to promote suitable publicly available applications or information, which would cover potentially what you suggest or any other relevant official or appropriate ones. I don't personally know that. It may be the official one. I just don't know. So, but it sounds good to me. With that, are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I will now put it. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. We now move to the is there any urgent business? Excellent. I'd love to see it. There being no urgent business, we move to the staff reports. Councillors, I will read down the list of reports. Could you please call out those which you seek to challenge? And then I will then call for a mover of the unchallenged items. I commence with Director of City Planning reports, CP 22/25, variations to development standards under clause 4.6, 1 June to 30 June. Am I correct that can be moved in globo with the other items? Okay, thank you. Is that challenged? Unchallenged. Thank you. CS 33/25, Southern Suburbs Youth Facility, challenged by Councillor Said. CC 19/25, options for cheaper access to the Des Renford Leisure Centre, challenged by Councillor Magna. CC 20/25 Community Investment Program, challenged by Councillor Magna. Councillors, I strongly encourage you all to call out because I'm reading. CC 21/25 Social Media Policy, challenged by Councillor Gordon. CO 36/25 Monthly Investment Report, June 2025, challenged by Councillor Burst. CO 37/25 24/25 Budget Carryovers, unchallenged. CO 38/25 2025 Local Government New South Wales Annual Conference, challenged by Councillor Magna. Okay, thank you. Do I have a mover of the unchallenged items? Moved Councillor Burst, seconded Councillor Martin. All those in favour? All those against? Declare those carried. Thank you. The first challenged item is CS 33/25 Southern Suburbs Youth Facility. Councillor Said.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and I move this as per the business paper, and it's just that...
Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor D'Souza. Councillor Said.
It's fantastic this has come back again, and it's well deserved and it's well needed. I was out watching a game against the La Perouse Panthers and the All Blacks on NAIDOC week, and the facilities there are very run down and very in need of help. So not only does it need a youth facility, which would be fantastic for the area, but it also, they're in great need of helping the facilities and virtually a knockdown rebuild. If possible, in my opinion, but I'm not the engineers, if we kept it in the same spot would be great. But that's, anything is better than nothing. So it really is needed, and the faster the better. And I know that on behalf of the La Perouse Panthers, they are desperate for this to be started as soon as possible, and they really would appreciate, and they're very appreciative of council working together with them and getting this done. And I think the youth of the area, and as it says, it's for everybody down there in the South Ward or in anywhere within the Randwick LGA. It is fantastic that this is coming to fruition. So onwards and upwards. Thank you very much.
Councillor D'Souza is a seconder.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I fully concur with everything Councillor Said has said. And said has said sounds very interesting, doesn't it? But in saying that, Mr Mayor, he's right. The youth in the southern suburbs have long waited for improved facilities. And the youth are our future. So investing in our future is what we should do as a good council. These facilities in the south have for a long time needed a bit of TLC, and we're getting it. Thank you in your term in particular, Mr Mayor. I've only seen good and lots of it, and of course with our General Manager's support, lots of funding for our southern suburbs and in particular our sporting facilities. I know I was at a La Perouse fundraiser not so long ago, and the comedian joked and laughed about, he said, oh, when's the council going to do something for Yarra Bay Oval, and when's it going to, and all this. And I sent a text to Mr Brownlee, who informed me, well, something's going to be done at this meeting, and that's exactly what we're doing. So thank you, Mr Mayor, and thank you for Mr Brownlee and others we've always dreamed about better facilities. Now that dream is reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put the motion. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. We now move to CC 19/25, options for cheaper access to the Des Renford Leisure Centre, challenged by Councillor Magna. Councillor Magna, could you please outline what it is you are moving? I'll then call for a seconder.
I'm moving an amendment to replace all words in the recommendation and to replace with words that have been provided that the 26-27 budget and fees and charges include provision for options 2 and 5.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Veach. Councillor Magna.
I want to start by thanking the diligent and very thorough comprehensive modelling work that has been undertaken by the council officers. It's great to have the benefit of the council briefing and the analysis that can help inform the decisions. It's also very affirming to see that our facilities are such a community benefit. These kinds of facilities are what local government is all about, providing access to health and well-being and enabling social equity. And when we look at the pricing of the Des Renford Leisure Centre, we can see that it's incredibly competitively priced and allows people across all segments of society to live healthy and active lives. But I think there's something that in the report that presents as an opportunity. Option 2, reducing the pensioner swim entry from $5.20 to $1.50 would only cost $58,620 annually, but would make swimming really accessible to an important constituency in our community. It also aligns with the Inner West Council's approach and recognises that a lot of pensioners often have the most to gain from regular physical exercise. Option 5, reducing the concession entry from 20 to 50% across all activities, also offers similar flexibility without creating an unsustainable financial burden for the council. So at a 20% reduction, that would cost $23,954. So we're talking about a very modest investment that could really significantly improve access for thousands of residents. So I think these targeted reductions will still maintain a very competitive price for and will give meaningful differences for those members of our community that will benefit the most. So therefore, I commend the work again that the council officers have done, and I think the amendment will enable it to go even further. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Veach is the seconder.
Thank you. Look, I would first of all like to commend former councillor Chappell, who brought this motion to council in the previous term. It was, councillor, did you? And councillor said for seconding. Des Renford is a fantastic facility, and but the fact is that we do have many residents on very low incomes where even where the fees are simply not affordable, and given the huge popularity of so many different sporting codes and council support for sport, I think it's really incumbent upon us to ensure that everyone in our community can have access to the pool, to the swimming lessons, to the gym, to the different classes. It's also a safety thing because we know that in summer, when it's extremely hot, not everyone is confident swimming at the beach. And actually, the swimming pool there with the lifeguards right there and the ability to pop in and get a bit of a shade and so on makes it a really, really good and safe option for people to use. There were some questions about the assumptions, and I hope we can meet with staff to go through with those in the coming weeks. And hopefully down the track we can look to reduce the fees even further as we see the fees being offset, the income at Des Renford being offset by the greater attendance that will be afforded by this fee reduction. So I commend the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Councillor Martin. Councillor Martin, your microphone. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just wondering whether I could either add a new dot point, please, Mr. Mayor, or add a slight amendment to one of the programs that we've got in relation to the SDN Children's Services, the Learn to Free program, swim programs out at Heffron Pool.
could you just clarify where that's referenced, just so we could
Yep,
follow?
it's on page 19 at the top. And a simple amendment would be just to ask the council if they would be prepared to double the number of swim programs allocated to these children's services from 20 learn to swim programs, from 10 learn to swim programs to 20. Currently, I actually just recently received an email from one of the Child Development and Wellbeing officers praising this fantastic program. It is a non-profit organisation, serves hundreds of children in our community. As I said to you before, the council currently provides 10 free Learn to Swim programs, so that's 10 children that they cater for, and it's a request to see whether the council would increase that to 20. They're all very appreciative. We can all understand how important it is for children and learning to swim, and by increasing to 20 children allows 10 more children in this program to have access to swim lessons, which they probably would not be normally unable to afford as a family.
Does the mover accept the proposed amendment?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Does the seconder? Yep. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I take it that you don't wish to close the debate? No? Okay, I'll now put it. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that unanimous. Thank you. We now move to CC 20/25 Community Investment Program, July 2025, challenged by Councillor Magna. Councillor Magna, could you please outline what it is you're moving? I'll then call for a seconder.
As per the business paper, but adding a letter G, that council review the community partnership guidelines and funding amounts.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Said.
I'd like to begin by asking a question to the relevant officer, if I may, Mr. Mayor. Given the significant investment that we're making through this program, I'm wondering how we might better measure and report on the social impacts that these grants create, and if there are practical ways that we could implement social impact assessment that could demonstrate the community value of these investments without creating excessive burden for our funded organisations.
Thank you. Through to the Director of Community and Culture.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Currently, the way that we assess the outcomes is via an acquittal report. However, that is not reported to council, it's assessed by staff. I do agree that we could measure the social impact better if we were to look at a framework for collecting data, because the current acquittal relates only to delivery. So if we were to create some meaningful questions around data aligned to the CIP, then I think that would achieve something better for the council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now to the amendment. Again, I would like to thank the relevant officers and the team for the work that they've done, the outstanding work they've done in managing the council's community investments program. 68 applications, over $800,000, demonstrates the incredible community support and the hard work and diligence and commitment of our community grants team. What this program really is what local government should really be about, which is directly investing in those grassroots organisations and enabling them to be stronger, more connected and more resilient. And when I look at the very detailed report that was provided to councillors, with the depth of the different organisations that have applied for funding, the Community Connect initiatives that bring people together, the creative projects that celebrate the cultural life of our community, and in particular the multi-year partnerships that create lasting change, because we know that for these organisations that are doing their work, it's not just year to year. They need that sustainable, continuing commitment that allows them to plan and be strategic over a 2-year and 3-year cycle. This tells us that there's an enormous amount of energy in our community, that our community is strong, and it tells us that our council is taking a real important role in enabling those organisations to continue to do the good work that they do. I noticed that there's $345,000 left in the budget. I guess that's an opportunity as well for untapped future rounds and emergency contingency. Overall, very supportive. I think we can all, as councillors, be very proud, and the council officers can be very proud, and more importantly, the community organisations that we work alongside for the good work that we help enable commend the report and the amended motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Said is the second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I fully agree with the addition of point G. For those who are new to the council, what we used to do in the past was virtually everything was funded through the Mayor's contingency, and it was set at something like $90,000, and it always ended up at about $300,000. So to rein it back in, myself as Mayor and the GM at the time, Therese Manns, thought there had to be a better way of accounting for the creative side of things in the community. And Jodie Tweed received a job in community, and she was given the project of deciding how this could work. And I have to commend her, because within 2 weeks she came up with the whole community investment program. And from that point, so that was, as it says, in 2020, so that was 5 years ago. We proudly funded a lot of community works. There's a lot of it in the background. A lot of the work we do is also in that community partnerships. A lot of people don't understand where that money goes, and the commitment to our team that they do it in silence. No one recognises the work they do with DV, etc. It's a fantastic job, and they deserve everything they get in this community, and it's really worked very well. Yet, as point G says, it just needs a review because, as I said, it's been 5 years now. Inflation's, there's a lot more community groups, there's a lot more things happening in the area, so we do need to look at it. But I do commend, as I said, quite proud to bring it in, and for the first time in 2 years, when I was Mayor, it was $90,000 to the mayoral contingency, and it was on the dollar for 2 years in a row.
Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put it. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. We now move to CC 21/25, social media policy, moved by Councillor Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to move this in a slightly amended fashion. That Council endorse the attached draft social media policy for public exhibition within 28 days with the following changes. Section 3.3.2 changed to, open quote, a councillor's social media platform must include or provide a clearly accessible link to a disclaimer to the following effect. The views expressed and comments made on this social media platform are my own and not that of the council. And section 8.2.2 changed to, open quote, council staff and officials must also comply with council's code of conduct, which outlines guidelines for the use of council resources, close quote, that the results be reported back to council.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Magna.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just commend the bulk of the draft social media policy, and in particular the work done by council staff to amend the model provided by the Office of Local Government to ensure that this policy meets the needs of council and of councillors. One of those things, for example, enables councillors to meet Meta's guidelines for the naming of Facebook pages, which aids us to get verified, and that's valuable to build community trust on our social media profiles. But there are two changes I'd like to make. The first one, just allows us to put a link to a disclaimer rather than having to paste it in verbatim. The disclaimer is 106 characters long. The Instagram bio maximum length is 150, and the maximum Facebook bio length on pages, I understand, is 255. So if we were required to paste this in verbatim, we'd pretty much wipe out more than half of the space we have to communicate. This enables us, to change this would enable us to communicate what our ward is, what our party is, our policy priorities, and of course allows us to comply with laws around the authorisation of electoral material. The second change simply fixes a typo, but since both of those changes, I believe, well explained the deviation from the model policy, I hope I have council support for this. Thank you.
Thank you. The seconder, Councillor Megan.
Very briefly, commend Councillor Gordon for a very practical amendment. We shouldn't be driven by bureaucratic rules where there's a practical workaround. We should explore that, and Councillor Gordon's amendment does just that. To the policy as a whole, social media has become this dominant form of communication, and it's very important, and I commend the council for their good work, and the workshop that was run the previous week was very beneficial and instructive, and I think we all left that with a better understanding of the difficult balance that those responsible for managing our social media assets have on a day-to-day basis in ensuring proper freedom of political communication and expression, while ensuring that appropriate standards of civil discourse are maintained. At the end of the day, this will go out for a consultation, as it should, in accordance with proper democratic processes where the community will get their say in relation to the policy. But the amendment from Councillor Gordon is a very good one, because it's important for us to be able to communicate something meaningful rather than just all of those words being taken up with a code of practice requirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? I have a hand up from Councillor Veach.
I would also like to move an amendment.
Thank you. Could you please bring up your amendment? Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wellington.
And that is to obviously retain the social media policy, but to delete the entire section 3 of the new draft, and essentially which relates to the council of social media platforms, and retain the existing 2019 council use of social media 5.3 of the 2019 version, which by and large covers a lot of the material that's in the new version. I think I must note that none of the social media policy is mandatory under the Act. It is optional. I think it is appropriate that we have a social media policy. It's entirely appropriate that councillors at all times abide by the code of conduct, whether in person or whether publishing anything via social media platforms. But I do think the new some of the new elements are quite onerous. People may inadvertently find themselves in breach through no fault of their own. It just adds another layer in a way that I don't think is of any real benefit to anyone. I think it's an overreach, and so I hope you will support this. I think the 2019 version covers everything that needs to be covered. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask, does the mover of the motion support it? No. Okay, thank you. The seconder of the amendment, Councillor Wellington.
I resent thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers on the amendment moved Veach Wellington? Councillor Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And look, while I do have some issues with the model policy, I just can't agree on removing an entire section of it. Firstly, I think a lot of these items mirror our compliance that were required with the Code of Conduct and the State Records Act, as well as other regulations that do bind us as councillors. So even if we removed these items, it would not significantly change our obligations. It would just make it less clear, and it would increase the likelihood that councillors unintentionally breach these policies. And secondly, I believe it's really important to have clear language regarding moderation of social media pages in light of the recent High Court decision, which found that owners of social media pages are considered publishers of content, including comments left on those pages. Now, that information has changed since the previous policy was introduced in 2019. And I think that's really important to capture in our draft social media policy, because unmoderated comments introduce legal risks that need to be addressed. And look, finally, I think we will just have to justify such a significant departure from the model, which I don't think we have the currency to do at this time. So sorry, I can't support these changes.
Thank you. Councillor Hay.
With regards to the State Records Act and the requirement, there is a genuine requirement that if someone resigns via social media post, then that record should be maintained. So if Councillor Veitch is willing to amend, so rather than completely delete 7.1.2, amend it to say if a councillor resigns in office on social media, that record should be sent to the General Manager or SMC, if that's fine. So Mr. Kelly, if you could amend it, say make section 7.1.2 apply to councillor resignations on social media. But with regards to, this seems like a lot of rules in section 3.3 which are not required by law, and it feels like, yeah, there's just a lot of space for people to unintentionally run afoul of the rules here, and we don't need to create extra work for ourselves as councillors. We're all busy supporting our communities in the best way we know how, and what Councillor Gordon said with regards to people being considered publishers, that is true, and we councillors are responsible for certain aspects of things that happen on our social media, but that doesn't mean we need to throw additional burden onto the council by including section 3. So I'm happy with that change to point B. I'm happy to support this amendment.
Sorry, further to the amendment, I think Councillor Gordon had some comments as to what he may or may not accept.
Sorry, just quickly, I would be happy to incorporate Councillor Hayes' amendment to 7.1.2, but I wouldn't be happy to incorporate the deletion of section 3.
Thank you. Are there any further comments on the amendment moved, Veitch Wellington? There being no further speakers on the amendment, Veitch Wellington, we'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no.
No.
I declare the noes have it. There's been a request for a division. All those in favour, please raise your hand. I have Councillor Wellington, Veitch, Hay and Asghari. All those against say no. I have Councillor Magna, Gordon, Martin, Wilson, Said, Burst, D'Souza and the Mayor. I declare the amendment lost. Okay, we now return to the debate on the substantive motion. Councillor Gordon, can I just confirm that you are incorporating that section? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Are there any, so just for, yeah, he's got it. Are there any further speakers? Councillor Said.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a question to the relevant officer through you, Mr. Mayor. In 2.3, there will be communications will have a social media coordinator who has his responsibilities. One of them is to approve and revoke staff member status on authorised users, etc., develop and register authorised users, maintain effective oversight, etc. To the relevant officer, will the media coordinator have access and look into historical posts as well as future posts?
Through to the Manager of Communications.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to clarify, the social media coordinator role is not a new position. It'll be a responsibility on me, Manager of Communications. It will do what Councillor said, indicated. So I don't quite understand what you mean by looking back at past posts and future posts.
In the point 2.3, the coordinator has their duties, and it's virtually to make sure that it's all above board, that they're respectful to the rules. They'll help if there's any oversights, make sure that the council's protected, that councillors are protected. So it is sort of virtually that we've never had one before. So now that we have an actual social media coordinator who will obviously look at all this in the future, I'm just wondering if there's past things that have just virtually gone against A to F on this page, will they be looked at as well?
Through to the Manager of Communications.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. The intention of the role is to implement the new provisions of the policy. So the role will be going through and making sure these requirements are adhered to. It's not about going back, but it's to provide advice for staff and councillors moving forward to make sure that you're able to adhere to the policy and give you appropriate advice.
So just further questioning then. So unfortunately, it's okay to break the rules in the past, but it won't be in the future.
Okay, Councillor said we'll take that on notice. I actually have a question to the Manager of Communications. It relates to page 59 of the business paper, page 7 of the attachment, section 3.2, identifying as a councillor. So it's page 59 of the business paper, page 7 of the attachment, 3.2, in particular 3.21 and 3.22. It reads that council must identify themselves clearly on their public social media platforms as a councillor. It is suggested that the following format be used. Councillor, first name and last name. Councillors may also refer to their ward or any relevant council positions and political party. In relation to that particular clause, I just want to clarify that the councillor must identify themselves clearly on the social media is taken as reasonably identifying themselves, and that the suggested format, while suggested, is not mandatory.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You are correct. That is a suggested phrase.
So thank you. So long as a councillor took reasonable steps to identify themselves and a layman could identify that, I think that's okay. Thank you. Thank you. I have no further questions. Are there what was a quick? Anyway, I think we'll move on. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, Councillor Gordon, do you wish to move on? Close the debate. Thank you.
Just really quickly, social media, as we all know, has become a really vital tool for councillors to communicate effectively with the public. It's me not communicating effectively. I am confident that the policy, as amended, allows us to conduct this really important business without introducing additional risks to council and councillors. So thank you all for the debate.
Thank you. I'll now put it. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. We now move to CO36/25 Monthly Investment Report, June 2025, challenged by Councillor Burst.
I'd just like to move it as per the recommendation, but I do have a question for the CFO through the chair. The invested institutions, do we expect that the invested percentage across institutions will likely remain the same? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The indicated cash rate forecasts and according to the financial plan of the council, it does indicate the cash rate will fall throughout this financial year from 3.85%, which is the current rate.
Just a follow-up question, but do we expect that the invested percentage across institutions will remain largely the same as far as the percentage ratios are at present?
Our current council investment policy is looking at the best current rate that's available. So it really depends on what is on offer when council has surplus funds to invest. But I think materially it will potentially stay the same within council's policies.
Thank you.
Are there any further speakers? I might actually call for a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Magna. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put it. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that carried. Councillor Willington, could you please turn off your microphone? Thank you. Unless you'd like to speak, of course. We now move to CO 38/25, Local Government New South Wales Annual Conference. Challenged by Councillor Magna.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My amendment is that the delegation be as follows: 3 Labor representatives, 2 Green representatives, and 2 Liberal delegates to make up our 7 delegates to local government conference.
Thank you. I should have discussed this prior. Could I just suggest you include the words, with your indulgence, that the respective groups identify the general manager of the exact composition of the delegates at a future time?
As suggested, that is the way I would have intended to move
Thank you.
the resolutions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Seconded by Councillor D'Souza. Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, we'll now put it. All those in favour? All those against? Declare that carried. Councillors, can I suggest that we have thank you. I'd like to have a short 10-minute bathroom break. We're going excellently through the agenda, and we will return at 8:40.
On my knees, man. Then he said, give your soul to me now, and I will give you everything you need. If you'll just have faith in my child,
I don't think we're going on that side of the road now. Then we'll go. Tell you time.
All right, thank you. I now reopen the Randwick Council meeting after a liberal 10 minutes. We now move to motions pursuant to notice, commencing with NM 63/25, notice of motion from Council of Each, Climate Action Week 2026. Do I have a seconder? One of you, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Magna. Councillor Veach.
Thank you, councillors. I will take this as read. Climate Action Week is a great initiative. It's largely community-led workshops and talks and such like. We already run the Saturday Circle, which is quite popular. The Climate Action Week next year would coincide roughly with the Saturday Circle, which happens on the second Saturday of each month. We know these types of events in Randwick are really popular. The Eco Living Festival is going to be celebrating its 20th year. So, and also the great thing is that we do currently have a permanent fee waiver in place for the Sustainability Hub for environmental programs. So there could potentially be quite, a very low cost to this. So I hope you will support the motion. Thank you.
Councillor Magna.
Very happy to support Councillor Veach's motion. I think climate action is something that Randwick Council has taken a leadership role on. As Councillor Veach said, the Saturday Circle is one of those terrific events that is what local government is all about, creating an ecosystem and a hub and a real sense of community. I think this week offers a great opportunity to leverage off that existing community that they have at the environmental park and bring our community together and provide opportunities for people to participate even more in the kinds of environmental action that this council does so well. Commend the motion.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll take it that we'll put the debate. All those in favour? Aye. Those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. NM 64/25, notice of motion from Councillor Willington, increase the utilisation of Burnie Park Community Centre. Councillor Willington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move this in an amended fashion slightly. If the last 5 words in point D could be removed, I think Mr. Kelly has already done this. Thank you. And that's simply for the benefit of anyone listening out there, would remove any pressure on council staff to provide the report in any particular time frame. But I hope they would do this as soon as their business would reasonably allow.
Second.
I have the great joy and privilege of living in Clovelly, in North Ward, close to the beach and all the wonderful places around there. And one of the perhaps less well-known parts of North Ward on Burnie Street is Burnie Park. It's in a gully. It has very well-loved, well-used play equipment, and it also has a small community hall, a community centre, which I'm told by residents who've lived there for more than the 15 years I've lived there, used to be very well used and often open, but that over recent years has become a reduced usage. I was approached recently by some parents of primary school aged children who say that they would love to see that hall activated in greater use, and suggested that it could be used for children's arts and crafts. And there are probably many other things that it could possibly lend itself to. And whilst it's a little run down and not ready for, or not on any current budget allocation for renovation, as far as I'm aware, it could easily take a lot more use and liven up that part of Burnie Street. So I'll take the motion as read. I hope that it will be supported, and I'd love to see this very much in need of extra use, but loved part of Burnie Street activated. Thank you.
Councillor Magner is the very enthusiastic seconder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'd like to thank my North Ward colleague, Councillor Willington, for having the initiative to bring this motion and to share it in advance of submitting it for collaboration with her North Ward colleagues. I think the Burnie Park Community Centre, with its 28% utilisation rate, presents an underutilised asset, and this is really a great opportunity for us as a council to reinvigorate and breathe new life into this well-located facility. We know from the service review of our community halls that when they are utilised, the local community very much appreciates the opportunity to use these precious spaces for addressing those things that our community have identified as increasing concerns, things like social isolation and social cohesion, mean that these kinds of spaces are more important than ever at bringing our community together, and the initiative that Councillor Wellington has proposed of bringing parents and children together is one of many opportunities that I hope this review will look at for the reinvigoration of this important community space, and I hope that we can turn it around and work with our community to unlock its untapped potential. I commend the motion to my colleagues on the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, and now take it that you don't wish to close the debate. Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that carried. Thank you. We now move to NM 65/25, notice of motion from Councillor Martin, nature strip planting, Beach Street and Arcadia Street, Coogee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just be quick on this one. Looking at the photos I've submitted, I perhaps don't need to say anything more. Residents and the local shop owners have made many requests to improve this area. It's constantly being used as a dumping ground and is always unkept. Mr. Mark Bush from Council has been of great assistance, but a more permanent solution is needed. Converting this area into a garden bed will hopefully discourage people from using it as a dumping spot and will enhance the appearance of this corner. I hope you'll support this motion.
Sorry, Councillor Wellington raised her hand as the seconder.
I'm very pleased to second this motion from Councillor Martin. It's an excellent motion and is something that we should be doing as much of as possible. You would all be aware of my enthusiasm for verge gardening and verges, and where the verge is just kind of grass and nothing much happening on it, the local community will think, oh, there's nothing much happening there, and when it comes time to put out rubbish for collection, they're likely to get strewn all over the verge. There was a similar problem at Bly Place in North Ward, and after many years of working with council, and finally they were able to plant a native haven there because of persistent rubbish dumping at the beginning of the Fred Hollows Reserve track. And that native haven has gone in, and I've been past several times in recent weeks, and there has not been a single piece of rubbish anywhere where they have planted the native haven. And so I think you should feel very enthusiastic and encouraged that if we're able to get this happening, there should be quite a different look and feel to the street in that place. So thank you very much for putting it up, and I commend the motion to council.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now take it you don't wish to close. I think you now put it. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that carried unanimously. NM 66/25, notice of motion from Councillor Martin, Ronald McDonald House Family Room, Council support.
Seconds.
Yep, Councillor Martin moved, seconded by Councillor Hay. Councillor Martin.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to amend this motion slightly. Mr. Kelly has been informed of that. For it to read that council sponsors a family bedroom at the Sydney Children's Hospital for 3 years at $3,500 plus GST per year. So the word there is a bedroom. It was an honour recently to be invited by Ms Jodie O'Hare to visit Ronald McDonald House in Randwick, which provides comfort and care to families of seriously ill children. During my teaching career, I was lucky enough to teach at the Sydney Children's Hospital School, where children and their siblings, often from Ronald McDonald House, attended class. If a child in hospital was too ill to come down to the classroom, we used to go up and do the schooling on their bedside in the ward. This often gave parents a chance to step away from the children and a bit of time out and some rest. So Ronald McDonald House have this family room. It's situated within the actual hospital, provides families, many of which are local families, with a cosy and home space with full facilities, and allows them to step away from the ward to rest and recharge, including 2 quiet bedrooms for catching up on sleep. This motion pertains to the sponsorship of one of the 2 bedrooms in this family room for 3 years. The sponsorship also covers the upkeep of the family room. If supported, a special recognition plaque will be placed on the bedroom door. So I do hope you support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Hay.
Thank you. So, Ronald McDonald House website says that they've had 850 family stays last year, with over 1.9 million saved for families. Living in the eastern suburbs is quite expensive, and for a lot of these people who live far away, it's great to give them some respite while staying at the hospital, and so that when their very sick children are having their hearts torn out, or sorry, the families are, withdraw that, the families are the families are very distraught at the plight of their children through their medical stay, that they have some respite. They can focus on their family rather than worrying too much about money and what to do. So this is a very good charity, and I urge you all to support it.
Thank you. Councillor Sid.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I commend this motion. I too, when you visit Ronald McDonald House, you can't think but to help. And as Mayor, I paid a visit there and I sponsored a room much the same as what you're doing here. Unfortunately, at the time, and I got it wrong, I assumed that it was every year, but it was only for the 1 year. So I've attended functions every year since I've been on council. 2 or 3 times a year I go to Ronald McDonald House and attend functions and just meet up with staff and see the great work that they're doing, which is fantastic work. So I commend this, and I actually applaud that you've actually put it down for 3 years, because then it has got certainty. You've done what I didn't do. So thank you very much, and I know that they'd be very appreciative of this, and it's a fantastic idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put it. Oh, sorry. Councillor Martin, would you like to close the debate? Okay, thank you. And then being no further speakers, I'll now put it. All those in favour? Aye. All those against? Declare that carried. All right, thank you. We now move to NM 67/25, Notice of Motion from Councillor Luxford, Noise and Antisocial Behaviour in Inglis Park, moved by Councillor Said on behalf of Councillor Luxford. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Burst.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'm moving this on behalf of Councillor Luxford. She's had lots of meetings with the residents, and what's happening here is that it's a fantastic park there at Newmarket. There's the slide, which is sort of well renowned throughout the LGA. The only unfortunate part is that it's very well liked, and it's probably, you could say, overused, and the issue is that the apartments are quite close to the park. During the day, no one has an objection to kids playing, and it's fantastic that they're using the park. But at night, if it's lit up well at night, as you know, noise carries at night, and there's sometimes antisocial behaviour. So what Councillor Luxford is asking here is, on behalf of the residents, that we can look into just bring back a report and investigate whether there could be a lighting curfew and also some noise abatement, because it really is pretty close, and it would be a shame for the residents to have to put up with that all the time. So it's not much to ask for, and I hope everyone approves with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Burst. Sorry, I've just seen there's a hand up from Councillor Gordon to second it. Councillor Gordon is the seconder.
He didn't finish his sentence.
I heard the word I. It's not how that works. Councillor Gordon.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just having been given the opportunity to recently visit Inglis Park as part of the Randwick Nights program, and being invited by the local organisation in charge of that event to see what that park is truly bringing to the community and the residents of the southern end of Randwick. It's a great new community asset that we have, but the concerns that have been raised about light and noise do have to be addressed, and so I commend that this is being put in motion, and that we should make this park an even better place for the residents of Southern Randwick to use.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Councillor Hay.
So the antisocial behaviour issue has been quite an issue for a long time. I moved a motion early in the last term about this. Council was against me, but hopefully this is a much tamer motion, and a lighting curfew maybe that works, maybe it doesn't, but it's certainly worth giving it a go. I urge everyone to support.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? There being Councillor Willington.
I have no doubt that it'll be considered in the report, but I would have some reservations about making that area very dark during the night. So maybe it could be a low level of lighting, so we don't compromise safety or well-being. It's near the hospital, and there are a lot of people walking home and going backwards and forwards at odd times of the night.
Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers, I'll now put it. Oh, sorry, do you wish to close it? Okay. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried unanimously. Actually, sorry, I declare that carried. Notice of motion 68/24. That's how you do it. Notice of motion 68/25. Notice of motion from Councillor Said. Amendment to the Randwick LEP 2012 to permit Torrens and Strata subdivision of built dual occupancies. Moved Councillor Said. Seconded Councillor Burst.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This has come to my attention that there's people still in the South Ward that are still affected by the company titles, which means that effectively a duplex only has one title on it. So both halves have two families, and traditionally within the South Ward and most of the LGA, but particularly in the South Ward, in the past, parents were buying houses, knocking them down, building duplexes so that their kids could live next door. What was happening was they were doing this as a company title, so they mightn't have had the 800 square metres. They were allowed to build smaller duplexes, and it was going swimmingly till in my first term of council in 2017-2018, banks took away they would not loan to any purchaser of a company title duplex, which meant that for any reason whatsoever, if one half wanted to sell, you couldn't sell it on its own. You had to sell it as one title. And back in 2017-2018, South Ward councillors put up a motion that we should grant an amnesty to people who had these company titles. And we sort of lost them the first intention, but then we brought it back when there was hundreds of people, virtually, well, close to 100 people in the gallery, all in tears and anxiety and screaming. And I've never seen this gallery full, and it's happened once and it's never happened again. Then luckily, with all that emotion in the room, councillors then agreed to go to the minister and ask for an exemption. We went to the minister, we got an exemption, we got granted an amnesty of 1 year. But unfortunately in the mix, a lot of people didn't realise they could have done this, so those company titles are still out there. And at the same time, in 2023, the South Ward Council has asked for duplexes at 550 in the new LEP because 450 was too small, and at the time there was councillors who wanted 650 and we thought that was too big. And the irony there is that we eventually got through, again, we lost first time round, but we got it through. And when we got the 550 through, and the irony there is one of the main protagonists of the 650 now lives in a duplex in the South Ward, in one of the smaller ones. So the benefit here is, and what I'm trying to do is to bring back a report and ask planning, because at the same time, these people are now, with the new LEP, they're taking it to the Land and Environment Court. And if they're very close, they're winning. So it's just costing council going to the court all the time. So the report needs to come back and tells us whether there's houses that could just fall into that, as I said, the provision that they're already built. They have been given titles as in a one title. So all we're doing is they're built, and we're allowing for families, because, Mr. Mayor, life happens. These duplexes have parents on one side and probably a son or a daughter on the other side with grandkids. Either the parents have passed away and they can't sell the duplexes because it has to be sold as one title, and the kids who might want to go and move into a bigger house, or maybe they get divorced, or unfortunately things happen, they can't sell it and they can't sell their share, they have to sell it as one title. And by doing this and by allowing more families to be able to sell either side, we're also adding to creating more affordable housing on the market, because it's obviously, logic tells you that it's more affordable to buy one half of a duplex than it is to buy the whole duplex. And the only person who can afford to buy the whole duplex is probably, both sides, is a developer or a cashed up real estate agent. So I'd rather have families being able to buy one half and not the other half. So in the report, it's virtually saying that these places are built, these people have been suffering for a long time. It's unfortunate they missed the amnesty. It's unfortunate they missed the boat. But we really do need to look at a way that we can save the council's time and save our money, and also save these people from having to go through hell to get single titles. So I applaud everyone, and I will include an extra dot point that this is the main aim, sorry Mr. Kelly, but just an extra dot point, that in the report, that the main aim of the report is that it specifically looks at the company titles.
All those in favour, all those against, declare that carried.
That's it, I'm done. That's all I've done.
Councillor Burst is the second.
I'd like to commend Councillor Said on this notice of motion. We have a housing crisis. We have kids not able to live near their parents and with their family. Both my sons had to move out of the area, unfortunately. They're not in Randwick LGA anymore because they couldn't afford to stay here close to me. If I could have put a dual occupancy up, subdivided and built something, I would have gone ahead and done that. This is an opportunity to allow families to stay together, kids to stay in this area rather than have to move out to areas where property prices are less. This is an opportunity to look at a report, to look at grandfathering effectively these properties and say, let's put the line in the sand now, and everything that's happened that's in the rear vision mirror, we allow that to now people get on with their lives. These people are all getting older. They're looking at, what do I do in the next phase? Everybody's saying people should downsize. This is an opportunity for people to downsize and either sell the property next to them, make it their superannuation nest, or have their children live next to them. So it's a great opportunity for all of those variables, and it's great for the council. It also means we get more council rates as well, because you've got more properties to deal with. But the main aim is to allow people that are now want to downsize or want their family living close or want to just move off into the sunset and go into retirement. And actually they've had a mortgage all their lives, and this is the opportunity at the end of that life of paying a bank constantly to actually move on. So to support this will help our community, help the people of Randwick City Council, help affordable housing and help families. If we're about family and community, then we should be supporting this notice of motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor De Souza. Oh, sorry. I actually said I'd go to Councillor Veach and then Councillor De Souza.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess, had a question for the mover based on our just a little discussion just earlier. I also recall all the debates around this, and it sort of stemmed, as I think Councillor Said mentioned, when council always had provisions for people to build a second dwelling on their property. And that could just stay under the same, if it was less than 800 square metres at the time, it could just stay on the same title, or it could be subdivided under company title, but not Torrens. And then what happened is that the banks stopped lending on company titles. You couldn't get a mortgage, and so that put a lot of people in not a very good situation. And it was actually Mayor Shirley at the time who went to the Minister and asked for that amnesty, and it was granted during Mayor Shirley's term, I'm fairly certain. So, but from what Councillor said, mentioned to me, is that the intention of this motion is that there was perhaps 100 or 200 people who qualified for that exemption at the time, which I believe was in 2018, but that some of those people did not apply for it. I would certainly be happy to support this motion if it applied to those additional people who, for whatever reason, were eligible at the time, but for various reasons, didn't make that application and missed out, but not if it applied to people after that date who knew full well the implications of building a secondary dwelling that didn't comply and then wanting to subdivide it, because I actually don't think that's fair, and it sort of undermines our planning processes. So I'm just wondering if Councillor said and the seconder would consider adding a note in the motion that this would apply to the people originally who qualified in that amnesty in 2018, or whatever. You know, if I could perhaps ask through the Mayor, if one of the staff people could perhaps, if Councillor said was willing to do that, if someone could suggest the appropriate wording, and I would be happy to support it on that basis.
Through. Was it a question to the staff? Okay, I will go through to the move of the motion. I will then go to the acting director of city planning.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Just to answer the questions of Councillor Veach, as it says in the motion, that this does not apply to after the LEP of 2023, definitely. I know that's not exactly what you asked, but it definitely doesn't apply to anything up, because then people did know it was 550, and that was specific. So it does not in any way refer to anything after 2003 in the LEP of 550. This is of the LEP of 2012, and it does apply to the 450 is in there because that's what the state government brought in at one stage. So this is virtually everything that's between 450 and 550, because then after 550 it becomes, I know it's complicated, but after 2023 they can't claim it because it's after that. So this is all the historical before 2023, and I might ask if you, and pose your question to the council officer, but the whole intention of this is, and it's a report. The report might come back and say, and that's why I added the point after our discussions about company title. This is specifically for company titles. If the report comes back and says there's 3 people that we know of that are company title and we're willing to let them go through in simple terms, then that's fantastic. But the report might come back and say there's actually no one who, everyone did take up the exemption, and these are just people that are trying to get. That's what the report's all about. So what I'm asking you is, we're not making a decision on the night tonight, that the report, and you can put this to the relevant officer, that the report will tell us how many people are involved, whether it's possible, whether it's not possible, if it can happen, if it can't happen, if it's people that are only 1 square metre short of, say, 550, and it saves us money to go to, that we don't have to go to the Land and Environment Court because these people will probably win anyway. I know it's a lot of work, but I think, and I could take it, I'm positive, if I remember, the Director of Planning did mention in a briefing once that they were looking at all this because of the costs involved and the number of people that have been coming to them. And I can pose that question to the relevant officer as well as your question, that is this being thought of at the time? And so this is nothing that's out of the ordinary at the moment. I pose that through you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Through to the relevant officer.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So I'll respond to Councillor Vich's question first. So we can certainly look at the capturing those duplexes. I think it's fair to say just those one that being approved from 6th of July 2018, that's the date when the clause 4.1D kicks in to the date the amendment number 9 got gazetted, which is 1st of September 2023. So we can certainly look at capturing only those duplexes that would be benefit from further subdivisions. Is it consistent with what you're before 1st of before 2018, July 2018, because July 2018 is when the clause 4.1D, which is what Councillor said was saying, that's when they're able to carry out subdivisions under the code set,
I guess what I was just trying to see, I guess we'll see the report.
Yes.
Through the members to ask the follow-up question. It's more that what Councillor said mentioned is that say for argument's sake, 200 people qualified and were offered that amnesty in 2018, but perhaps a number of them did not take up the opportunity to go and subdivide at that time and missed out. And so it would really be, my understanding is that the intention of this motion is to see if there are people in that cohort who now apparently can't get it, the amnesty expired, but
we can certainly.
One argument to would have known full well what they were getting themselves into, and I don't think that would be
Through to the General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor said's right. The Director of City Planning did raise with the councillors that council has been unsuccessful in a few land environment court decisions, but we've been challenged on this particular issue. The Director did tell the councillors that there'll be a report coming back. I can let the councillors know that report will be coming to you in September.
I have a question through to the General Manager. The background of this particular report refers to a policy gap arising, disadvantaging landowners with dual occupancies approved before 1 September 2023 on lots between 450 and 550 square metres. Can I just get a further clarification as to what the proposed policy gap is, noting that that date was identified by Council?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That gap is, it's in relation to there's a change to increase from 450 to 550, and therefore that all those one that was approved, under the 450 rules would not be able to benefit from this.
And just to follow up in relation to that, that was a made decision of Council.
That's correct.
So I'm just curious when it was related, when the mention of a policy gap. I don't understand where, because that was made conscious at that particular time.
There was an issue raised at the time, but there were simple submissions received at the time, but it was strategic decisions to maintain that 550, but not capturing those that have been approved that are less than 550.
And I'm just curious in relation to the fact the submissions are therefore made would suggest that there is a knowledge in relation to that. Sorry. In order for somebody to make a submission, you would actually have to have knowledge of the intended policy outcome.
Yeah, that's noted. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all of my questions. I've nothing further. Councillor D'Souza.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, my core values are equity, social justice and a fair go for all. Now, that's exactly what the sentiment of this particular motion is, to give everyone the same opportunity. I've heard the word amnesty being used frequently tonight. This is I wouldn't call it an amnesty. I would say it was an opportunity, because there were 300 families. There was conjecture about 100 or 200. I can tell you the figure. It was 300 families that were going to lose everything. It was Councillor De Rocha and myself who were approached, and we took forward this case. Oh, I admire Councillor Said's courage on this, because his party was against it. All the major parties, I said I admired your courage on this issue.
Councillors, I'd suggest
you
you
have a hearing problem, or
not argue with each other when you're in agreement.
No. Now, let me be clear on this and have an opportunity to speak the truth. Sometimes the truth, it gets diluted in this chamber. Let me say, so 300 families were going to lose everything. That room that was full, Mr. Mayor, that day was because of Councillor De Rocha and myself, people saying to us, we want change, we want change. And they screamed it in this room. And I said, come. We had footballers, we had community members. They came to this room and they spoke up. And Mr. Mayor, those 300 families were saved because the council decided to show leadership. Our true motto, prima sempre, always first. Well, we were first on this occasion. I received so much email and so much support from people saying yes. So anyway, coming back to this motion. So yes, those 300 families were saved. We should give others the same opportunity. Mr. Brownlee pointed out, and I spoke with Mr. Coe earlier in the day, and they have confirmed what I already knew, that in the Land and Environment court, we are losing battle after battle. Here is an opportunity to correct a wrong or conceived wrong, let's put it that way. It's an opportunity to do the right thing and not just allow those 300 who benefited, but also those 200 that didn't know or didn't have the opportunity or the finances to do something about it. Now, let us give them the same opportunity. What also makes this motion more admirable is that it doesn't go to say, like when I did it, we want this, and this is what should be done. It talks about exploration and investigation. That, to me, is noble, and that's why I'll be supporting this motion, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Councillor.
Councillors, I seem to. I ran in that election in South Ward in 2017. There's plenty of credit to go around on this issue. I seem to recall being the only councillor to have actually put that as a promise on their flyer at that election. So that's important. Anyway, the point is, I thank Councillor Said for bringing this motion. I thank Councillor Burst for seconding it. I've got a feeling like everyone's going to support it, so let's get on and vote. Thank you.
Are there any further speakers? There being no further speakers. Councillor Burst would like to speak.
I think it's pretty simple. A lot of people fell through the cracks when this change happened. I don't think they understood what was actually happening, and by the time they realised it, everything was over. So we should simply be grandfathering these properties and make it simple. Let everybody have the opportunity to build, put a dual occupancy, be able to get bank funding. And the question is, how do we go about doing this?
Sorry.
To the relevant officer.
That's a question, is it?
Yes, how do we go about doing this?
Very close.
You got it there.
Through to...
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There'll be a report coming to Council in September.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager.
Are there any further speakers? No, being no further speakers. Councillor Said, do you wish to close the debate?
Just in closing, that I did mention that it was the South Ward councillors, including myself, De Rocha and Noel De Souza.
And candidates.
And I agree with Councillor De Souza that we pushed, but we didn't get acknowledgement at the time. But I'll put it to you.
This being a planning matter, a record of voting is required. Is that correct? I believe so. All those in favour, please raise your hand. We have Councillors Wellington, It's unanimous. All those against, declare that carried unanimously. Thank you. We now move to the confidential business paper. Okay, thank you. We now reopen the ordinary council meeting in open session at 10:54 p.m. Sorry, 9:54. You can tell the jet lag's setting in now. 9:54 p.m. To read the outcomes of the confidential ordinary council meeting in relation to CS 34/25 waste receival and processing disposal services. It was carried in an amended fashion. CS 35/25 supply and maintenance of mechanical beach cleaners was carried unanimously. CS 36/25 council building cleaning services was carried unanimously in an amended fashion. CS 37/25 lift maintenance and repair services was carried as per the business paper unanimously. CS 38/25 Heffron Park Central Amenities was carried unanimously. CS 39/25 provision of road signs was carried as per the business paper unanimously. CS 40/25 Heffron Centre Public Art request was carried. CC 25/25 online engagement platform was carried as per the recommendation of the business paper unanimously. CO 39/25 operation of the Maroubra Beach Learn to Surf School and Equipment Hire was carried unanimously. CO 40/25 Audit Risk and Improvement Committee was carried. CO 41/25 Audit Risk and Improvement Committee was carried. There being no further items on the Randwick Council Ordinary Council Business Meeting on the 29th of July 2025, I declare the meeting closed at 9:56 p.m. Thank you, councillors, for the way in which you've conducted yourselves.